Our next guest is an eyewitness to the deadly shooting inside that Walmart. She says she worked alongside the shooter one day before the tragedy and was inside of that break room when the suspect opened fire. Her name is Brianna Tyler. She's only been a Walmart employee, she tells, for a couple of months, and she joins us now live from her home. Brianna, thank you for taking the time for being with us. How are you? How are you doing today?
I'm still processing things. I can't get the visual out of my head, but I'm okay physically, of course, but just mentally and emotionally, it's definitely a lot to take in. It definitely is a lot, but I'll be okay.
I'm glad to hear that. Being able to focus on that, I can't imagine. So tell us about those moments. You said processing it. What are you processing?
Well, I was literally just getting to work. Our shift is from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. I got there a few minutes late. About 10:06 is when I clocked in on my phone. I walked to the break room like normal. That's where we have our nightly meeting of where everyone's going to be, stocking their particular section. And, I'm just standing there. There were a few things that seemed like off to me about that whole night that they stick out more to me now that situation has happened. Just different things, like the maintenance man, who actually the first person to end up getting hit, he actually went around the entire room and gave everyone trash bags, which he doesn't normally does, so that stuck out to me. And then, like, when I walked in the room, something in me told me not to sit down. I don't know exactly what it was, but something just said, just stand up, and I just stood up the entire time. And as soon as the team lead said he was about to get the meeting started, he said, "All right, guys, we have a really light night tonight." And as soon as he said that, the supervisor or the manager just came around the corner and literally just opened fire and just started swaying his arm back and forth. He didn't have a target. He didn't, he wasn't aiming for anybody specifically. He literally was just shooting across the entire break room.
It's terrifying. I mean, that just sounds unimaginable. And how did you keep yourself safe? You just hit the deck? Did you run?
I honestly, at first, I froze because I thought I was in like a simulation. It felt fake in the very moment, because I'm literally looking at this man and I see the smoke leaving the gun, but it's just not registering to me because I think it was the fact that I recognized his face. If it were someone that I had never seen before, then I feel like it would have been realer in that moment. But the fact that this is somebody that I worked with and I talked to and I was next to every day, it was just like, this can't be real. And so I saw all of my coworkers diving onto the floor, and I'm just looking around like, what's going on? And then once I saw blood, I was like, oh, this is really real. And then that's when it processed that, like, you have to run or you're gonna die. And then I just booked it through the store, and all I kept saying was, don't trip, don't fall, don't look back, just run. And that's exactly what I did. I just ran straight for the front door.
Cannot imagine what you went through. Tell us, if you can, a little bit about the supervisor, about the shooter. You said you felt uneasy about that employee meeting leading up to the shooting. Was it because of something about the supervisor, about the shooter?
Not necessarily that night, like not necessarily last night, but I would say he was just the supervisor that everyone warned everybody else about. So when you first started at that job, it was like, okay, this is the supervisor that is most likely going to pick on you, or he's going to have an issue with what you do and things like that. So, I had it noted in the back of my head that, oh, okay, cool, we might run into an issue, but I never thought that it would be anything to this extent. Because like I said, he didn't say anything. He didn't point to anyone specific. He didn't aim at anyone specific. It was like he was just out to get any and everybody that he worked with. He genuinely just did not care.
And Brianna, you said it was a handgun that he was using?
Yes.
Have you got a sense of how many shots he got off?
He let off probably about 8 to 10 in the break room alone. Like, he was just literally just swaying his arm back and forth, and he was just shooting. I would say he let about a whole clip out. I would.
And Brianna, you say you've been working at that store for just a couple of months. What more can you tell us about the suspect? Did you have a sense that this was a guy who wasn't right?
I mean, he always gave off like he was like the loner type. Like, he was quiet and to himself, I will say that. He just, he gave off the vibe that was just like, you don't talk to him unless you have to. Like, I've never once had like a joyous, fun conversation with him. It was always about work, and that was it. So whereas with everybody else, you know, a lot of people, they laugh, they joke. I have other supervisors that I can, you know, talk to casually. But with him, it was always just like a straight shot. Okay, this is what we're doing. This is what it is. So he wasn't like the fun, bubbly type of person. So I can't really say anything about him other than everybody just about had a trivial issue with him at one point. But nobody,
Right.
I don't think anybody could have ever guessed that he would take it to this extent.
Right. Whatever this is, he kept inside of him. Now, how has the store and the company responded to employees after the shooting? Have you heard from anyone to reach out to you, make sure you're okay, you're doing all right, do you have what you need?
I haven't heard from anyone officially. I have talked to my other coworkers, and they've asked that, you know, if I was okay. There were coworkers outside of the store last night, of course, after everything happened, so we were all checking in with each other. Someone did come up to me and get my first and last name and make sure that, you know, I was accounted for in the group of the employees, but I haven't spoken to like any like corporate or any like a store managers or anything like that. No, not yet. No, sir.
You know, Brianna, I must say, I'm just so impressed with how strong you are in this moment. It's a terrifying situation. I mean, have you learned, I mean, it's early, but have you learned something about yourself and about life, or is that just a ridiculous question?
No, not ridiculous at all. I would honestly say, even though it is still early, I know that I'm handling and I know it's going to set in more, but I know that I'm handling this a lot better than most people. So I would just say it's definitely taught me how strong I am. And just to really live life to the fullest. Like I'm 28 and I have a 4-year-old son, and that seeing my life flash before my eyes, I feel like it definitely taught me that life can literally be taken from you at the blink of an eye. Like you can be doing something as innocently as trying to go to work, and your life can get taken from you that fast. So I would just say, just reach out to the ones you love, keep an open relationship with them, do your best, like just be a good person, because at the end of the day, you genuinely never know when you will look your child or your mother in their eyes again.
Amen to that. Brianna Tyler, we want to thank you very much for being with us. We want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and the thanks that you have for making it out, you know, communicates something to all of us. So thank you very much for being with us. Good luck.
Thank you. No problem. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.